So I've been working on this executive functioning course since I think August. Yeah, August 2025. And it's currently February 2026. I could have finished the course in November 2025, but I became overwhelmed with just life tasks and things going on that the reality of me having to finish the course alongside all of my other work and study for the test and take the test just seemed just out of my realm of capacity. So I know that one way to support myself in getting things done is to do some body doubling. But that can be really challenging in my line of work. I do some body doubling every week or so with some colleagues that I've met in the anti-boring learning lab. But, it takes some organization and there's some texting back and forth and some planning. And sometimes I just need to get started, but that's really hard, as a lot of us know. Task initiation is an executive skill, and it doesn't just come naturally for all of us. Also, if you are some kind of neurospicy, then you're not getting the same dopamine hits as other folks might get just from completing a task. So we have to settle and regulate our nervous system before we're able to just get started. I decided I'm going to use your help. With my camera setup, I intend to focus on completing this task. Actually, that's a really big task because I would have to study and then take the test. That's way too big for me to do. So let me break it down. I'm going to get started studying. So I'm going to show you what I suggest my students do when it comes time to take a test. Luckily, Krista Hopp, who runs the Connected Pathways Academy, has not only led us through all of the executive functioning and strategies and tips and science behind what is happening in the brain and how to support student learning, but she's also given us a study guide to review all of the main topics so that when we go to take the test, we know what to expect. So she's brilliant. Highly recommend this course. It has transformed my coaching. It's also just transformed my life and my sense of self, and also has given me a lot more empathy when approaching other people and understanding that, you know what, they might be cognitively overloaded right now. And that's okay. Come along with me as I get started. So let's first start by cleaning off the desk real quick. I also want to pull out my tools that I will be using to study. This is my executive functioning notes. Oh yeah, and then here's that study guide I had told you about. Printed it out so that I don't get distracted with screens. I am going to close out all of the tabs I don't need right now. I'm going to keep my calendar open, but I am going to try to use this Pomodoro timer. Okay. Actually, I'm going to pause the timer until I'm actually ready to start. I think I'm going to move my keyboard and let me open up my notes. I've been using Notability to complete my notes. So I'm gonna have that up on the screen in front of me. Then I'm gonna have my Pomodoro timer off to the side. And yeah, I'm just gonna try to get started. Let's see how this goes. I'm just going to kind of start by looking at the study guide. Like, what is going to be asked of me? And, what can I answer already pretty confidently without having to go back to my notes?
Figuring out what you do and don't know is one of the most challenging parts of studying.
How is it that I don't have a pen or pencil? I've got markers, I've got expo markers, but I don't have a pen and pencil. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back with that.
You're witnessing a classic ADHD moment where I have to get up and retrieve something that I need in order to complete the task. And that's why setup routine is so important.
Okay, so this is my setup routine. I often suggest to students to create a setup routine so that we feel grounded and ready to start. So I'm just going to go through this checklist, and if you like it, take note of it, do it yourself. So I've got a pretty clear workspace, clear enough for me to do what I got to do. All the materials I'm going to need. I've got my notes, I've got my electronic notes, finally got that pencil, got my study guide, water and a snack, got those here. This is my protein shake, which will keep me going. Headphones, I've got Pomodoro timer. Create comfort. Okay, well, I'm wearing my cozy sweater and that feels good enough for me right now, but I do have a blanket and a scarf in case I get a little sensory overload. My to-do list and or write down what you will specifically work on during this study session. Okay, I'm gonna work on this study guide, completing as much as what I know and then making note of what I need to go back and learn. Oh, and then put your phone out of reach. There you are, phone. I'm not gonna touch you so long as you're there. Cool, okay. Alrighty. I guess that now I start.
So, as you can see, getting started is a lot of work. This video is about 7 minutes long so far, and I've only just gotten started. So, have compassion for yourself as you work through a big task.
All right, so that was my first 20 minutes. And um, so what I did was I just tried to answer the questions in this study guide to the best of my knowledge. Um, and so I was practicing what brain scientists call retrieval. And so I wasn't looking at any of my notes. I was just going into the back parts of my brain, long-term memory, looking for these answers. And and it was hard. It's also very humbling. So first I went through and I just went through down all of the questions one at a time. If I wasn't confident in my answer or if I didn't know the answer at all, I just put a little arrow next to the question, like so. And that gave me little cue that I need to come back to that. I want to look in my notes for those answers and just become more confident in that. So what I ended up doing was I counted up all of the questions here. There are about 48 questions, and there were 21 of them that I was a little iffy on. So that's pretty good. I mean, that's I know more than half, not a lot more, but this is just my first go around. I haven't even really started the studying process. I'm just figuring out what I do and don't know. It's really important at this phase that we don't get really judgmental and start up all of those negative thoughts about ourselves and our ability and what we can and can't do. Because like I said, we're still at the beginning. And this is just we're gathering data, okay? So, since this is my first go around, the next part of this is I would ordinarily be taking a 5-minute break, giving myself some space, stretching my legs, maybe go cuddling up with the dog for a bit, maybe do a little lap around my house and come back. And then the next phase would be pulling up my notes and finding answers to the ones I just didn't know. And then the phase after that would be running through it again, I would probably take another break, to be honest, another brain break. That's why I like the Pomodoro timers, is because my brain already wants to be distracted. So I just kind of, this helps me lean into it a bit. So I'd probably take another break after finding all the answers. And then I'd come back again. And I, this was really set up really nicely in that I could treat this study guide as a study tool in and of itself. I don't necessarily have to create more study tools because what I can do is I can fold it over. Or so I have questions on one side and answers on the other. And so then I could even take this and walk around my yard or my neighborhood and just kind of quiz myself, quickly looking down at one, thinking about the answer, checking if I was right. And so that's another level of retrieval. And so this is the study cycle in a nutshell. I've encoded the information already by going through the Connected Pathways Executive Functioning Academy. And so I've already encoded once. I just practiced retrieval and I figured out what I do and don't know. And so now I'm going to go in and encode again. So that would be pulling up my notes, getting all the answers, and then practicing retrieval again would be folding up the page and going through the questions one more time. And I can even make more notes on about what I do and don't know. Maybe a little star or underline or highlight that question, like, hey, I didn't get that. And keep cycling through until there's nothing left on here that I don't know, that I can't answer with confidence. And then that's when it would be time for me to sit down and take the test. Obviously, this process is going to look different depending on the kind of school or, yeah, the kind of school that you're going through. I don't have a deadline. So I'm creating a deadline for myself. I guess technically the deadline is a year from when I joined the Connect Pathways Academy, but I'm so excited to get this certification that I don't want to wait until August 2026 to get this certification. I don't want to utilize that fire under my butt, that emergency get it done or else feeling. I just want to have my certification. I want to feel confident and proud of it. And I want to use these tools to support myself in reaching my goals. And I thought that bringing you through this process with me would be not only humbling and supportive and motivational, but it would also be a way for me to connect to my students. Like, I get it. Studying is hard. It was uncomfortable for me to go through this. And I remember looking up and out of my 25 minutes, I had 17 minutes left and I was ready to quit. I wanted to up and go. I didn't want to do this. I wanted to kick it down the road, maybe another day. But I kept at it because you're here. So thanks for being here. Um, yeah, I'm going to finish up this recording for now and we will circle back again and I will show you how much progress I've made. Thanks for being here.
So I didn't end up recording the progress for this because shortly after filming this video, I took the test, passed, and moved on with my life. I want to take a moment to highlight the reality that learning takes time. We live in a world full of impulsivity, instant gratification, constant rewards, and monitoring, but we don't account for just the sheer amount of time it takes for us to learn, process, reflect, and enact all of these skills. Because I started my executive functioning course with Krista Hopp in August 2025, and I'm only now, in June of 2026, actually reflecting on that process. I'm editing my first draft thoughts and collating the information into a story worth sharing. Just by making this video, I was able to get over the hurdle of getting started. But once I finished, I had a new boundary for posting. I needed to watch myself edit the video and reduce my experience down to a lesson about executive functioning, and honestly, the further I got away from the filming date, the more shame I felt. That shame centered around timeliness, and my all or nothing mentality started to rear its head with a new vengeance. So, this video is actually an attempt to shine light on my shameful shadows and to show you what it's like to manage my own executive functioning while coaching clients, running my business, and just living a life worth sharing. Thanks for watching and being on this ride with me. Let me know what you do to get started, to set deadlines for yourself, and to get things done. If you want more video content like this, subscribe to my favorite academic coach. And if you want to work with me, please visit my website linked below. I'm looking forward to more connections with this community, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks for watching so much. And just so I don't leave you on a cliffhanger, just know that I passed the test with flying colors and I am now a certified executive functioning coach. So hopefully we get to work together soon. All right. Keep working hard, keep showing up for yourself, and it will pay off in the end.